What's up, everybody? How are you? This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my brothers, Richard Williams and Ty Butler in the building today. Got to give a shout out to all the sponsors that have supported us during the course of our evolution, doing what we do, and I support all of them. Daily Arts of Survival magazine, uh, Ingram Taxes, and things of that magnitude. uh, Real Talk Chronicles, Row House, Melba's, Chocolat, all the things that people want to do and experience. I have to start off today and apologize to the listeners for what transpired last week. If those that saw it, um, I came out of character. I was brought out of character because sometimes the devil, he's always working, so it's okay. And he asked for it, and I came out of character. First and foremost, first and foremost, let me just say this to anybody, and everybody and anybody is always welcome to join Real Talk Chronicles, right? But please understand that you're never going to come in here and disrespect four kings. You're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen on their watch. It's not going to happen on my watch, right? If you come in here, raise your discussion, but lower your voice. If you can't articulate yourself, then don't even come on here. We can talk about anything and everything that you want to talk about, but you're not going to be disrespectful. That's not going to happen. I just wanted to put that out there. I have removed that podcast from last week because it's not a good look, and I just don't want anybody to see it. And it is what it is. But please, if you're going to come on here or you're going to invite somebody on here, please let them know that you're talking to real men. With that being said and saying all of that, I want to ask my brothers, how y'all doing? Rich, how you doing, man?
Oh man, you know what it is. I'm putting up with it.
That's what's up. Ty, how you doing, brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored, bro.
That's what's up. That's what we do. Let's get into it. We're gonna go a good strong hour. First and foremost, we there's so many different things going on. Um, we could talk about DEI. Hey, Stefani, how are you? She said, I was definitely looking forward to the rewatch. No, Stefani, we had to remove that. That it wasn't it wasn't professional at all.
It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look.
No, because dude, he just brought us to a place where that wasn't comfortable, and I wasn't going to show that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you saw it in live. We can talk about anything. We've always articulated ourselves. We've discussed things that none of us liked and we didn't agree or disagree with, but we've never disrespected each other. So we're not going to let somebody outsider that's been invited by somebody to disrespect us. That's not going to happen. With that being said, and saying all of that, like I always say, we have so many things going on. We have the mayor. We could talk about that. I was having a conversation, fellas, with a friend of mine, Caucasian friend, sent me a post in regards to Joy Ann Reid being removed from NSBC, and he wants to send me. I called him a coon, right? Uh, so the bottom line is, like I told him, I said, listen, send me something when you see a white person disrespecting from the right, as they call it, the GOP, the Republican Party. Send me something that you disagree with. You want to send me something of a person of color talking about Miss Reed and talking about, oh, he's talking facts. And I said, he's not talking facts. Okay, her ratings had went down, but the bottom line is she wasn't spewing hate and stuff like that. My question to you, and I'll start with you, Ty, and then I'll bring you in, Rich. Where did we lose a lot of people of color in regards to this voting and voting for Trump because he has said to me, Hillary went on the Breakfast Club, Biden was on the Breakfast Club talking about voting for blacks, and she had hot sauce in the bag. And I had to let him know. I said, she's from the South. I said, if anybody's been to the South, you see more white people, Caucasian people eating chicken at Popeyes and grits than you'll see anybody else.
And
But
chitlins.
exactly.
That's a
So,
fact.
so the fact of it is, I said, what I don't see is any white person speaking against what they feel the Republicans are doing wrong. But you want the Democrats or the liberals or however you want to label them, talking about their con men. So I said, listen, they come to us because they want to vote. But I said, this new administration, Trump administration, he didn't even come to us. His thing was like, yo, I don't even care if you vote for me or not, because I got a bunch of y'all voting for me. And I told him, I said, you got the lower white establishments voting for him. So I want to ask you a question before we get into certain politics and things. Where did you think? What do you think that caused a lot of our people, or some of them? I don't know the number of people of color that voted for him. I don't have them in front of me. That left the didn't want to support Kamala as Harris and went to vote for Trump. And I'll start with you, Ty. You did? You did, Ty?
I don't know if I said this before, but a lot of individuals, depending on where they came from and what they've experienced, don't have personalities. So, and they'll go through life, they'll go through careers, and they don't really have a personality. And they spend a lot of their adult life searching for one. Even they, So the thing is that now here's something that they feel no one's accepted them where they uh, should be. Now they're going to jump ship and go somewhere where they think they'll be accepted because they need people of color. And that's what happened in a nutshell. That's my take on it.
Right, right. Rich?
Well, when you ask that question, you're asking, how do we lose black votes to the, I'm not even going to say the Republican Party, because this is not even the Republican Party. This is MAGA, straight up Trumpism. And what you have is a guy who's a master of deception. You know, this guy is somebody that can make people feel that he's accepting them. And these are people, and when I say these people, I'm talking about people of color that have bought into this whole society that we live in, that is all about money and making as much money as you can, and at the expense of anybody. And that, people are lazy. Speaking, I mean, and when I say people, we're talking about people of color. When you can get people to believe things about themselves, and then at the same time try to make a distinction between them being people of color and other people being different than them. That's the craziness. I mean, this society has, with this Trumpism, has forced us to find to label what white folks have always called us as niggas. They want some new niggas, and they want us to pick them. They want us to say, okay, the Mexicans are the new niggas, so we against them. This is a country here where Europeans came here, took the land, and sold it to people in Europe before they even got here. And they got off those boats with pieces of paper that said that they owned property that was sold to them by somebody that didn't own it. And they proceeded to take over the land that belonged to people. Mexico was Texas, California, Nevada, New Mexico,
Arizona, Arizona.
Arizona, Oklahoma. That was all land that belonged to Mexico. And all the other land belonged to the Native Americans. And you got Trump and people like Elon Musk who came over here from South Africa, apartheid, raised in apartheid, came here under a bogus visa that said he was going to college, never attended college. Him and his brother got a loan from the bank, stayed here as undocumented immigrants, and got a bank loan and started a business. And this is a motherfucker that you hiring to talk about illegal immigrants? Come on, give me a break. Now this white dude, he's kicking out because he's masking it as it being criminals, right? Oh, these are criminals. They eat cats and dogs and all that type of shit.
Right.
And he's masking that, and then he's going to get on television today and says that he's going to sell citizenship to wealthy people from Europe that can afford to pay for it.
Yeah. What's so funny? It doesn't even stop. It just gets, like you said, it's going to sell it. He's going to sell gold bars or something like that. I mean, I think it's so funny, Ty and Rich. I think the things are so ridiculous of what they're saying. Stefania, I saw your other comment when we're going to talk about Cuomo. We're going to get to that. But I just want to stay on this topic right now. We're going to talk about 47. Stefania says, my response: we lost a lot of people of color because they spoke to issues that were irrelevant to them. Black people still majority voted for Kamala. The issue is that they more stayed home. Rich, what's your thoughts on that? And then I'll ask you, Ty, what's your thoughts on that?
About black folks staying home?
Yeah, I put it up on the screen. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of black folks went against what we call liberalism because you got to look at the fact that this country, if you turn on the television, right, there is not a TV show, a movie, or commercial that you don't see men kissing men.
That's real talk.
Right?
That's real talk. That's real talk.
You have conversations in school where they're literally teaching your children to what they call being tolerant of the gay community. Being tolerant and teaching your child that he is a woman and they're capable of making the decision. Is that me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
We hear you now. Go ahead. We got you, bro.
Okay, they're teaching their children that they can make the decision of whether or not they're a boy or a girl. And literally coach them through it. If they say, yes, I'm a boy, but I feel like a girl, and never have experienced sex before, but you're telling me that my child can go to school and you're going to tell him or her that they're not the gender that they were born to be because they're feeling certain kinds of feelings, right?
Right.
Children, and this is my opinion, they learn behavior. As a child, you start to learn things. And if I'm teaching you that you're born a boy or born a girl, but you can in fact declare that you're not a boy when you are, or not a girl when you are, and I'm as an adult going to support that and say, hey, You know, if you think you're a girl, then you're a girl. So let's give you some medicine and hormones and counsel you on how to be a girl. A lot of people of color didn't swallow, don't want to swallow that pill. You know. Now I'm a believer that whatever you decide that you want to be, if you want to be homosexual or whatever, if you're a girl and you like girls, you're a guy and you like guys, and you're an adult, I'm like, hey, that's your choice to make. But as a child, I'm gonna make you think that yes, you are a girl when you're a boy, that you're just being misunderstood or whatever the hell they're telling them. Now, being tolerant or understanding about a person's feelings and they get counseling, okay, cool. But I'm not with that coaching my child into believing that there's something that they weren't born as.
Yeah,
And if
I,
they
I
come to
I I agree with you. I think maybe Rich and Ty, maybe um, you know, the left, as they want to call people, try too much to be liberal and throw that down and shove that down people's throat, because the bottom line is, like you said, you can have any your sexual preference is your business. That's none of my business. But to try to impression a young child's mind might have been too far. Like I think Stefania might have said it last week or another time. When you, and we might have said it, any of us must say, you're doing, as they say in the hood, you're doing too much. You know what I'm trying to say? You're doing too much. You're trying to make us like this and like that. Ty, what's your thoughts?
I agree totally. That with Stefania and Rich, I think a lot of minorities stayed home and didn't vote, and that's why Kamala lost. She also lost because they really weren't. It was more rhetoric of the past 4 years, uh, just speaking and not saying speaking directly as to what you're going to do for black people. And yeah, what Rich had to say in regards to the transgender thing, because the left was really pushing the rights of the transgender. The one thing I agree with Trump that he did was um, he took transgender out of women's sports.
I,
Like,
I I agree with that. I agree with that
yeah,
too.
like how I don't understand that mentality, and that's been the problem of the left. Like they go to the extreme, and anything to the extreme becomes error, and they need to learn where to put the stops in and say, look, okay, we went this far, but we got to hold up right here because something's going wrong here. And like Rich said, when you got adults who could be mentally um,
Influence, yeah.
messed up, right? Now they're turning around and they're messing with the children, and the children aren't getting a fair chance at life, you
Yeah,
know?
I totally agree. Let me read Stefania. Also, she says, and I think they coupled with bias lead to her losing, bias in the sense that a lot of people do not want a woman in charge. What's your thoughts on that, Ty?
I
Uh,
don't I don't I don't think that woman in charge thing kept people at home. I think it was more so like I told you, like they were sick and tired of getting nothing from the left, and they're like, you know what? It's a toss up. We might as well just not even go and vote, because a lot of people, believe it or not, especially in our community, believe our vote really doesn't matter because they feel that whoever they're going to pick is picked already, and that's that.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
picked by the powers that be.
yeah. Shout out to my Capricorn sister Joyce. She says he has put the country up for sale to the highest bidders. What do you think, Rich, about that?
exactly. I mean, this guy says for $5 million you can be a citizen while shipping out at the expense of 30,000 to 50,000 per supposedly migrants from Mexico to send them back. It costs $30,000 for them to put them on a military airplane to send them back. I'm talking about a piece. And then he's
Everybody,
going to
this is Real
send
Talk
them
Chronicles.
back.
He's back.
He's going to send them back, but open the gates if you got money to come to the United States. So that message right there is telling you that he's telling you that this country is for the wealthy, right? If you got money, you can get whatever the hell you want. That's why he got Elon Musk sitting next to him, who gave up millions of dollars and probably lined his pocket with a straight $1 billion just to let him sit next to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
This dude was giving money to people that registered as Republicans, right? And it was like a lottery where you lined up to get $1 million if you're a registered Republican, right? And the first person they on television that won that shit was a black family. So now all black people thinking, hey, he giving us money. No, he gave one of y'all motherfuckers some money. It was like bait. Here, here's the bait. Bite it, because we ain't giving the rest of y'all nothing. But we want you to think you in line for this. Like all of these people that are talking about, oh, Trump is gonna save us and he gonna put money in our pocket. He ain't gonna do nothing but take your money and line his pocket and all of his billionaire friends.
Yeah.
You know, these companies that are in other countries, he's one of them, right? Dollars off of cheap labor. Not coming back here to pay more money for labor because these people have unions and they're protecting their jobs and they demand higher wages and they're trying to dodge that bullet. They don't want to pay high wages. They want to pay cheap
labor. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel me? So all that
Yeah.
whole bogus shit they talking is bullshit.
Exactly. Ty, you want to comment on it?
Um, Listen, at this point, they have their plan. It's Project 2025. They're putting it in effect, and they're putting it in effect quicker and quite efficiently compared to anything I've ever seen the Democrats try to do in office.
Yeah.
When
Hey,
they're
yo,
in
Ty, you
office.
know what's so funny? I was watching something on the news. People having the town halls and other places in the Republican states and stuff like that, and people out there complaining and stuff. You know what's so funny? I hate to say, you know how I told you so, but now
Uh-huh.
people are up in arms over things. Now, like I had somebody from the, I guess I hate to say the right because that sounds like I agree with it. The Republican Party say, oh well, when inflation goes up, prices will never go down. But wait a minute, you knew that when you voted for him, but you went on the premise that prices were going to go down. He told you that I'm going to lower inflation prices and stuff like that. Now eggs will never go down. You got
Right.
people talking about they're going to raise prices on eggs and stuff like that, but it's okay for them because the bottom line is they're looking for the missing goal. They're looking for the money that's missing. They want to know where people are getting paid because they're not working. Now, the people were working from home, so now everybody has to come back to work. Listen, Elon Musk is running right now. Trump has given Elon Musk power to run the world like he's run his company. I know for a fact. I know this for a fact. I know somebody personally to me that worked for Elon Musk.
But
Right?
in regards to what you said, Bill, about how certain people on the right uh uh like up in arms about certain things, but look at the deportation
Mm-hmm.
act that they put into effect. Now, this whole thing was supporting uh some of the Republican beliefs and the right wing beliefs, I should say. It's a generational thing. So you have individuals who are younger than us, or even in our generation, that have supported that. And guess what? A lot of them, their parents and grandparents never went through the process, and they're in jeopardy of getting deported. And
Yeah,
now they're shook.
yeah,
Now they're shook. And I don't wish nothing bad on no one, but like you said, I told you so. You
absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. My brother Malcolm is in the building. He said the general public, black, brown, and white, are not sophisticated enough, mentally enough to understand deep political manipulation, consumerism, or self independence. Unfortunately, most people are followers. Rich, your thoughts on that?
Well, that's true. I mean, most people are followers from A to Z. I mean, look at how all the clothing people wear. They look on television and they see somebody famous wearing some shit, and then they'll
Yep,
wear what they're wearing. Even if you go into
absolutely.
to the supermarkets like Macy's, I mean not the supermarket, but the clothing stores like Macy's, they have people that actually dress those mannequins. They're stylists that put these clothes on a mannequin so you'll know how to dress. I mean,
Facts.
people wake up
Facts.
in the morning and they don't have their own individuality. I mean, when I went to school, some of the people that were the ones that dressed the weirdest, that people crack jokes about, those are the people that became designers.
Exactly. Real talk. Real talk.
Yeah, and they create clothing that they get a famous person to wear it, and that's how it becomes the style. Look at Fubu, for us, by us, right?
Yeah.
That was a bullshit company till LL started wearing this shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Everybody, if you're watching, if you're trying to watch on Facebook, we're having some kind of difficulties. I apologize for that. So please, you're just gonna have to chime in on YouTube. I think I put that on Facebook to let you know if you're having difficulties. Come to YouTube. Ty, what's your thoughts on what my brother Malcolm said?
um, I co-sign what Rich said. I said at the beginning, individuals don't have a personality, so they go through life being told what to do, how to dress, how to think, and don't want to come to draw their own conclusions. Everyone is basically made up of the wisdom they acquire and the experiences they have had. And everyone hasn't had the same experiences in life, and the experiences along with their wisdom is going to dictate the decisions that they're going to make in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, um, Let me see something. I want to read something to you guys, uh, and get your thoughts on this. Like I said,
but
this
Joe
was a,
Bill, and saying what we said, there's nothing wrong with having a model to go by, right? We all have models that we go by and learn from. That's why it's so important that when you have kids and children that are going to school, you know, who's modeling them? You
mhm.
know, I want
Yeah,
you to be comfortable with being a woman and you're a guy,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Or even
even
dressing like
even
inmates, or dressing like inmates with
yes.
your pants hanging off of your behind.
Power. That,
yeah,
you know,
Fashion is fashion, but when it starts crossing gender lines where the style, because I've seen NBA players wearing skirts.
yeah. Wearing kilts and stuff like that.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah. Real talk. I want to read something to you. I want to read something to you guys. Like I said, I was having a conversation with somebody, so I'm going to read something that he said. He said, inflation was made by the Democrats shutting the world down, firing people who didn't have the vax. Took years for companies to catch up. You can't fix inflation with one variable. The way this country gives away and prints money is just about impossible. And as for taxes, Biden was in Congress, and Congress votes in the tax codes and loopholes. They pay taxes but have loopholes that we don't have. Thanks to Congress, where Trump has never been a part of, I don't like the things that are happening with Elon Musk. I said, oh, I was like, when he said that, I said, oh, okay. He doesn't like the things that's happening with Elon Musk. I don't agree with everything, but and let me just say this. This is because we had an earlier conversation, and I said I've never seen you call out anything against the Republicans. You want to send me something about Democrats and liberals, but when are you going to speak out? But you see, this is sidebar. This is not out on his page. So he says, let me finish reading. He says, the pay taxes. Da, da, da. He says, I don't like the things that are happening with Elon Musk. I don't agree with everything, but I do agree with auditing every government agency. They should have been done years ago. The government has been buying from Elon Musk way before President Trump. Is it a conflict of interest? Maybe. But now he's supposed to end all contracts with the government. Maybe he wasn't the right choice to do the selected job. Brainwashed is thinking Kamala was a great choice for president. Then I said something about execute because I said Donald Trump wanted to put in executions because he said about Biden keeping our people in incarceration. But I also said, do you realize Trump tried to pass the execution, people getting executed. So he said execute. He said, now you're being funny. The government already did that, and Trump was nowhere around. So what do you think about the fact that he says about inflation and taxes? And inflation was made by the Democrats shutting the world down, firing people who didn't have the vax. Took years for companies to catch up. I'll start with you, Rich.
I'm lost with that question. What was that?
He said inflation was made by the Democrats shutting the world down, firing people who didn't have the vax. Took years for companies to catch up. You can't fix inflation with one variable. The way the country gives away and prints money, it's just about impossible.
Well,
I
I'm not an expert in economics by no stretch of the word, right?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
what I do know is at one point this country was the world leader in exports. I mean, we were exporting our garments. We had a garment district. Remember the garment district?
Of course,
85%
everybody knows in the 30s.
of the
Yeah.
clothes were made here and designed here and was shipped all over the world. And the companies started to realize that it was cheaper to get labor in Vietnam and in China, where there were no unions talking about you can't put a kid to work because they got children working. You
Yeah.
know, you got children working. Here you have labor laws. You have laws that are put in place to keep the workers safe, to keep the worker guaranteed to have a job. And these big companies, they're against that. They want to be able to hire and fire whoever they want to fire and hire whenever they feel like it. They want to promote who they want to promote. They want to give opportunities to who they want to give opportunities to give them to. And they're not us. They will use our ideas. They will use our labor to get themselves wealthy, but they're not giving us shit, you know? And a few people of color that are able to thrive within their society and how they're controlling things, that's just something to say, hey, look at so and so. He did it. You can do it too. And they say, yeah, you're right. And then they turn on their own people. You know, back in the Great Depression, when everybody had all these rich white people had their money in the banks and in stock, and they lost their backs, they lost their shirts. They wouldn't let black folks put their money in their banks. So black folks kept their money. So when the depression hit, all the little pockets of towns that was black or predominantly all black, they thrived. And whenever we circulate our money amongst ourselves, which they try to act like we don't do, but we do it, and then when white folks get wind of it, they destroy it.
Very much so. Very
You
much so.
know? And they talk about slavery like we were really just taking all that shit. They never talk about how there were really people fighting for their freedom. They was killing motherfuckers
Yeah.
for freedom.
Let me bring Ty in. Ty, the question was, he said, inflation was made by the Democrats shutting the world down. But the bottom line is, when COVID started, it started under the Republican administration. Remember, people fail to realize Trump was the president, and he made it act like it was a hoax. So
I I get it. Malcolm makes some good points.
mhm.
One of them is relates to the
But
question.
this
One of
wasn't Malcolm. This Joe. I mean Ty. This wasn't Malcolm on this. This was the guy that I was having a conversation with earlier.
okay. He makes
So
some good points,
uh-huh.
and one of them relates to the question that Stefania asked. Uh, why why do you think a lot of people didn't turn out and vote, and how Trump won? Um,
Right.
uh, a lot of people, especially minorities, and especially those who work in city agencies, were very, very upset with the administration for forcing them to have to take a vaccine, especially with the history that our communities have had with certain vaccinations, right?
Very
And
much so. Yep.
and that was a big reason why a lot of people didn't turn out and vote for uh, Kamala Harris, right? Also, uh, I really believe and agree that the tax codes and systems need to be revamped. Think about it. If you leave your, let's say you leave your child a house or properties that you paid for, right? Now they're all paid up and you're gone and they have the house, no mortgage. But now the house has increased in value from when you bought it at 2 or 300,000, and now it's one point something or 2 million. They have to pay taxes on 1.2 or 2 million. That's not
Yep.
fair. They really, and that only affects the working class people. That's something that they really need to look into and revamp. They say, oh, those taxes go towards paying for education and teachers' salaries. Well, guess what? That they need to find another way to supplement their salaries and the educational system that we don't even get our history told in properly.
Hey, Todd, you know,
Yeah.
I heard something once about that whole thing, what you just talked about. And that applies to everybody, not just people of color, because there's ways that you can get around that by doing a living trust, from what I understand.
Yes.
Instead of
Absolutely.
you just straight
Absolutely.
uh, giving your
Absolutely.
children the house, you put it in a living trust.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. Yeah.
there's certain tax laws that we're just simply not educated on. I
Oh.
think that's the main issue, that we're just simply not in the loop about a lot of shit that we need to know about. I mean, you go to some of these schools, high schools and public schools, even public schools in well-to-do communities, they're like private schools, and they're
Yep.
teaching economics at an early age. They're teaching stock market. You know, these kids are learning the language of the stocks, long before they even get in college. A lot of them even have their own investments. They have their kids invested already, and they're
Mhm.
teaching them this stuff. And they're not teaching this stuff to us in our public schools. They're teaching us to learn math, learn English, learn this, and then go to college and then get a job. You
Mhm.
know, they're teaching their kids how to go into business,
I agree.
not how to work for someone, how to get somebody to work for them. And they're pointing at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to high school I went to Hughes High School. I graduated from there in 1978. When I went to high school, my high school was integrated. I went to school with
Damn.
Jews. I went to
Damn,
school
you
with
old.
Italians. I went to school with Italians. I went to school with all Chinese, everybody. And every high school then had a vocational trade attached to each school.
Yep.
All of the people, like the Italians and the Irish, so they all locked into those trades. And when they
Yep.
graduated, they wasn't even talking about going to college. They was talking about going into the union and working in the city jobs, building the city, and
Mhm.
became union workers and made enough money to put their kids through college if they wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
But they pushing all the people of color, go to college, go to college, go to college,
Yeah.
go to college, right?
That way we don't have trades.
And then
Exactly.
when you get there, there's a desk sitting out in the front with credit cards. They want you to get a credit card.
Mhm.
Everybody
I
that
think
I knew back then walked up to that table, applied for a credit card, and got it. Spent
Yeah.
the money and was in debt from the credit card.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
Just
think
from going to college.
I th- I think that's
And
the biggest sin in
then
the
come out of
educational
college.
system. I
Yo,
think that's the
Ty, most of the people that went to college for whatever they went for didn't even get a job in the field they went to college for.
Yeah.
absolutely not. I know.
Yeah. Listen, I want to, Joyce says, the Republicans have always left this country in a deficit when they leave office. The Democrats always come and fix it. You know, what the hell? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's how they fix it, Bill, and that's
Absolutely.
been the issue. And they fixed it off of the taxing us more and more, and that's
Yeah.
been the issue.
Yeah. I want to read something to you guys. A friend of mine posted this. She says, my stance. She says, I will not be drawn into a debate over this post. I am aware of the argument of people who disagree with the statements below. I am posting this for all those who may be living in a fear in this moment, so you may not, so may you are not alone. I want to share this piece of solidarity. This is where I stand. The 45-47 president has power hungry cronies taking positions of authority in his cabinet and administration. Y'all kind of agree with that, disagree with that? I just want to put that out there before I go further. I
Yep,
personally agree with that.
I
All right.
agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
Okay, administration. And the majority of the Republicans in Congress are real and active threat to me, my way of life, and all or most of the people I love. Some people are saying that we should give Trump a chance, that we should work together with him because he won the election and he is everyone's president. This is my response. I will not forget how badly he and so many others treated former President Barack Obama for 8 years and by and cleaning up his mess, lies and his legitimacy and hatred for his principles and his attempts to work within the system. I will not work together to uh, uh, privatize Medicare, cut Social Security and Medicaid. I will not work together to subvert the Constitution by legitimately pushing unfit cabinet nominees through or recess opponents with the advice and constant consent of the state. I will not work together to build a wall. I will not work together to pursue Muslims. I will not work together to shut out refugees from other countries who seek asylum. I will not work together to lower taxes on the 1% and increases taxes on the middle class and poor. Let me just say that right now. I've been told, anybody that knows different, correct me if I'm wrong. If you make under 400,000 or under, you're going to pay more taxes. Anybody that makes 400,000 or more, you're going to pay high. You're going to pay less taxes. I don't, I don't know about anybody here. I don't know about any listening, but I'm not making 400,000, so that means I'm going to pay more taxes. I'm not cool
yep,
with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I will not work to help Trump use the presidency to line his pockets and those of his families and cronies. I will not work together to weaken and demolish environmental protection. I will not work together to sell American lands, especially national parks, to companies which they dispose those lands. I will not work together to enable the killing of whole species of animals just because they are predators or inconvenience for a few of because some people want to get their thrills for killing them. So I mean, there's more. I just wanted to say, homegirl, she had a lot to spew. You know, so funny. the mean Bill, the Bill that feels what he feels. Uh, I always say, for those that voted for him, you know what I'm saying. I got to go back to church soon. Those that voted for him, I always say, I hope you get everything you want. You know, it's a shame that at the expense of others, some will suffer. But the bottom line is, when you come into office and talk about, I'm going to I'm going to lower inflation. Everybody knows once inflation goes up, it goes up. Like, when is inflation, doesn't go down? But people was like okay with that. Now people are losing their jobs. Now you got Republicans talking about, oh, if I'd have known this, I wouldn't have voted for him. But what made you think? And going back to, I think what Ty and Rich, both of you guys said, he played on the fears. Listen, say your prayers at night, or the boogeyman is coming. You know what I'm saying, fellas? And now the boogeyman is you. You know what I'm trying to say? Rich, Ty, any comments? I'll start with you, Rich. Go ahead.
Yo, there was a story somebody was telling once that, you know, when they came for the Puerto Ricans, and I didn't do nothing because I'm not Puerto Rican. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't do nothing because I'm not a Jew. Then they came for the different races, and I wasn't none of them. So I stayed out of it. But then they came for me.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. You know, all of these people that are rocking with this dude feel like what he's talking about, all that negative shit, it ain't for them. Right? And he's making them believe that you're part of us. You know, let's make America great again. And with that statement in itself, when people are repeating that look like me saying, make America great again, I'm like, okay, what time was that? You know, what
Yeah.
year was that? What decade was that when America was great for us? Was it great when they did what they did to Emmett Till? Was it great when they shot Malcolm? Was it great when they shot Martin, Medgar Evans? When they dragged that guy in Waco, Texas? And those were friends of his that dragged him, white boys, right? When was it? I mean, when was it great? Was it great when they broke up the Black Panthers that were the first ones to feed the community and step the dudes that were selling drugs and stop them from selling drugs in the community? I mean, when was it great? Was it great when they poisoned us with syphilis? Was it great when they took Henrietta Latt's blood cells and said they belonged to a white woman and buried
Yeah.
her in an unmarked grave? When was it? When was it great? Was it great when they bombed uh, uh, Oklahoma? I mean, when was it great? When we wasn't able to use the same restrooms or eat in the same places? Was it great when Jesse Owens ran in the Olympics and wasn't allowed to walk in the front door to get his own award?
Real talk, real talk, real talk.
I mean, when was it great? When was it great when they stripped Muhammad Ali of his title because he refused to go to Vietnam and fight Vietnamese?
Yeah.
I mean, when was it great?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah. Real talk.
I
That's
mean,
real
a
talk.
couple of these motherfuckers were able to work within the system of white folks and do good for themselves. So it's
Yeah.
like F everybody else.
Rich, let me read this comment and Ty, and then I'm gonna shift the comment for our last few minutes on. Joy says, absolutely not. They didn't give Barack a chance. This man is trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid for people who has only that. He raised the drug prescription prices. Hold on. She says, me either, and we have to cover his cronies' lifestyle. She also says, why did they think he was lying? Was lying? U.S. What's so crazy? So Ty, I'll come to you because I know you was off for a second. She says, absolutely not. They didn't give Barack a chance. This man is trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid for people who has only that. He raised a drug prescription. What's your thoughts on that, real quick?
Well, first you got to understand how the medical system works, and
Mhm.
the medical system works whereas they're not trying to cure anyone. It's about uh, maintaining and making money through pharmaceuticals,
Mhm.
and having people on medication, and until they die. Uh, they don't want to have these services where people are able to uh, take care of themselves. They rather them just, do whatever and not go to the doctor and die. So it's a catch-22 situation. But a lot of those people who were underprivileged felt a lot better when uh, when Obamacare was in place, and
Yeah,
and and they had something that they could turn around and utilize to their benefit.
yeah.
So,
Well,
I'm
that dude said that he was going to end Obamacare when he first got elected in 2016, as soon as he got in office. But what happened to him is he realized when he got in there that all those white people that also was talking about end it, it was benefiting them. So he realized he couldn't end it and stopped calling it Obamacare. And then he started calling it the Affordable Care Act.
mhm.
He took Obama's name off of it and then acted like it was his now.
I thought I saw Chuck up there. He was there for a minute, right?
No, Chuck's not here tonight. He had something to do.
Oh,
Um, let me ask you. Let me ask you guys. Let me make this. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my panel, my co-host, Richard Williams and Ty Butler. Um,
Hey Bill, can we
yes,
pause? Can we pause for 1 second and talk about something good?
sure.
My family came out to the row house this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
In-laws, uh, my aunt, we all came after we went out to New Jersey for the polar bear thing where they jumped into the ice cold water. That's not me. But we all came straight to the row house, and my whole family was saying how much of a good time that they had. And you run a hell of an establishment there. You doing your thing. Everybody should come out, show up,
and support.
patronize, brother. You know, it's
Thank
nothing
you.
but love. It's nothing but love. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And
So
then also too, everybody that doesn't know, Ty is an owner in Brooklyn Chop House. Friday, what do they do on Fridays, Ty? Because people was telling me to come down. At,
Our we started R&B Fridays after the dinner crowd is done at 11 o'clock. Whole restaurant turns into a club. You know,
Ty, the next time you in town, let me know.
I
Malika and
def
I'll meet you down there. All right.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
All right.
Last Friday we had DJ Clue playing the music and
Oh, that
Slick
was
Rick.
Clue. That was Clue that was playing. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Slick Rick came and performed, and Buster passed through. I think Buster's gonna be there this Friday.
Yeah, Buster's gonna be there Friday. That's late night Fridays. I'm too old for that, so I have to go to bed early and then get up later on tonight. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you guys your personal opinion on this situation. This is my man, but people want to still come at me with it in regards to this. And you know, I have my personal feelings. Like I said, this is my man. Um,
Eric,
yeah, so I'm gonna walk a little delicate on this. Um, First and foremost, he was on Fox with the border czar. I forgot the guy's name, and he said, you know, if Eric doesn't do what he promised in his office, we won't be on this couch. I'll be in his office and I'll be in his butt. Let me tell you something. I don't
who
know
said that?
any. You
the
didn't see that,
czar,
Rich?
Who said that?
The border czar.
the
The
border
border
czar.
czar said that to Eric. The border czar. He said that to Eric. I'll send it to you if you didn't see it.
No, I didn't see that.
I'll send it to you. It hurt me to my heart because first and foremost, I don't know any men that's going to allow that, and I definitely don't know no black man that's going to allow somebody say that to him. And then
Pause.
and then he was just laughing and chuckling at, and it hurt me because this is my man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Eric and I cool, right? Um,
Like,
from Rich,
same
I'll send it to you. But Ty, you saw it. So, what was your thoughts on that? Like, because let me tell you something. As me, if that was me, I'd have been like, yo, my man, you're not gonna be in my butt. Like, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so
pause.
you're not gonna see no. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pause. Exactly. I don't even do the pause game, but pause.
Mhm.
Facts on that.
But
Right. Then go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Make your point because I was just
No,
gonna
no. So no.
say,
So then recently he's at like a little town hall thing, and he says, "I wish I would have had the guru here, Malika, the show. I show the clip. I posted all these on my Facebook social page. He says about calling people that didn't agree with him Negroes, right? He's not a comedian, so people were like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, these people that telling me about sitting down, you know, what's wrong with these stupid Negroes kind of thing." So then he goes on Fox. Fox News. I posted it on my social media page. Fox News anchor pressed him. He's like, "Yo, like, who are you calling Negroes?" So Eric was like, "The people that didn't vote for me, or didn't co-sign whatever,
support him.
support him." Dude says, "So you talking about all of New York? Are you calling?" So Eric is like, "I'm not calling all of New York Negroes. I'm just saying the people that didn't support for me. The politicians per se. So I think me personally, like I said, from a journalistic standpoint, I think you're using wrong verbiage. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You have you saying what you're feeling, and I get it, E. Because if I was talking to him sidebar, I'd be like, "Yo, I get it, E." You know what I'm saying? But right now, win New York back. You're not winning New York back talking reckless. You're not winning. You're not winning New York back talking reckless. And before we get out of here, I want to talk about HT. Shout out to Harold Thomas. What happened to his son? Go ahead, Ty, and then I'll give it to you, Rich.
So, like you, I'm close with Eric, and I've seen the things that have gone on. I don't know all the circumstances surrounding it. All I could say is this: that uh, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
in this situation, I think somehow, some way, his back has been up against the wall,
Facts,
and
facts.
he really wants to get reelected, but sometimes it's not in the cards, and you're trying all different ways to make it happen. But I at this point, I would just be grateful if I was him that charges weren't brought against me, and move on, and seek some other sort of office because uh, a lot of New Yorkers are unhappy,
Very much so. Very much so.
especially with congestion pricing.
Yeah. Oh,
And the fact that the governor who stepped in and took some of Eric's powers is still pushing it. Who knows what deal she has going on with MTA? Why she's pushing it so hard.
yeah.
But and that's something else I agree with what Trump administration has done. That they
Yeah. I do
stopped.
too. I don't want to
I
pay
didn't
that shit.
look. I didn't vote for him. I'm not a fan, but that along with taking transgenders out of female sports,
I co-sign that. I co-sign that.
both of them. Yes,
And I'm gonna say this to both of you, as Joy has posed. She said Eric is trying to get his charges dropped. He's doing everything to make this
his
happen.
charges are dropped. They're
Yeah, his
dropped.
charges dropped. Are they pre-jet? What is this? Pre something? I forgot what it is called.
No,
Pre-jet.
his charges, the charges are dropped.
Okay.
But she's right. He has been compromised in that
So
situation.
so let's look at it this way. I'm not for congestion pricing. I wasn't, so I ain't mad at him for pushing that thing. When we talk about the police commissioner, I don't know her, but she was a big Trump supporter. So now
Mhm.
when we start talking about the conspiracy theory, Rich, and I'm bringing you in on this. She she's a Tish. She's her family owns a lot of money. They got a lot of money. They're in the sports,
A lot of property too.
a
I
lot of
mean,
property. So can it? And I'm just throwing this out there in the universe. I don't know, and I'm not saying this happened, but let's play
devil's advocate.
devil's advocate. Can somebody say, "Yo, listen, you take care of Tish, and I'll talk to Trump for you, and we get this charges dropped. Put in the police commissioner spot, right? So okay, she becomes a police commissioner, right? Then all of a sudden, now Southern District people were like, "Yo, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here because my integrity is being compromised." With that being said, now all of a sudden his charges get dropped, right? Okay, but then, like I said, you got the border czar talking reckless about being in your butt. You're not.
Hmm.
You listen. Who you think you're talking to? Like you're not gonna talk to me like that. Nobody's gonna talk to me like that. And then on top of that, now you coming at the politicians that would ask for you to step down. And I get it. Like I'm a man. I grab my balls too. So I get it, Eric. You telling people like look at these Negroes, whatever. Okay, from a comedic standpoint, that sounds good. From a politician standpoint, I don't think that was the perfect verbiage to use. You know what I'm saying? And Eric's, like I said, Eric's my man. I'll tell him in his face. I was like, yo, if I was sitting with him sidebar smoking a cigar, I'd be like, yo, E, I wouldn't have used that. But you the mayor. So, to the winner goes the spoils. You say what you want to say. Maybe, listen, maybe you're getting tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You get tired with the monkey on your back. But my thing is right now is you got to win back the people. As a mayor, you have not been a bad mayor at all. But the bottom line is your administration has gone up in shambles, and that doesn't look good for you. Joy says, I said, oh yeah, I read what Joy said. I'm gonna bring Rich in, and then Ty, you can follow up. Rich, what's your thoughts on all this that we
Hey,
just?
it's a whole lot. You put a whole lot of shit down there, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'll come back rewind if you need me to, brother. I
All
apologize, man.
right, let me start with the whole situation with what you said about what was said. I didn't see that, so I cannot respond honestly about what I feel about it because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't hear
As
it.
soon as we
This
get off,
the,
I'll send
this
it
the
to you.
first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah,
Now,
thank you.
as far as Eric Adams' charges getting dropped by Trump, I ain't mad at that. You know, Trump got convicted of 34 felonies, and he's the president,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
right?
yeah,
He
yeah,
released, what was that, 1,500 insurrectionists from
yeah,
prison day
yeah,
one,
yeah,
right? Now, Eric Adams is my dude too, right?
yeah, yeah. We all have a listen. Everybody out there that's listening, everybody here, and like I said, we all have a personal connection with this man. And I'm talking from a journalistic standpoint. I'm not talking from a personal feeling. You ask me my personal feelings, yo, I want him to walk on water. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah,
but but
we're
let me
talking.
finish, Bill. Let me
Yeah, I'm
finish.
sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, go ahead.
So now, as far as all of these people that are calling for him to step down, and I didn't hear the statements about him saying Negroes and stuff like that. But I was in the room where he gave speeches twice about how his colleagues, so-called colleagues in the Democratic Party, all were calling for him to be removed and wanted him to step down. And these are the same people that did not support him when he got elected. Not one of them backed him. Just like when Al Sharpton ran for mayor against Giuliani. All the whole Democratic Party and people that were asking, I was asking, yo, why y'all not supporting Al? They said, oh, because he can't win. So they went for Ruth Messenger. All by himself, he won 37% of the vote in this city. So much that they had to have a runoff between him and Ruth Messenger. And I think they cooked the book so she can win it. She went on to lose by a landslide to Giuliani. But as a
Hmm.
consequence, Al Sharpton didn't owe not one politician a favor because none of them held him down.
And
None
Queens
of
and
these,
Staten Island
none of
wasn't
these,
voting for Al.
none of these people that right now in the Democratic Party supported Eric Adams, right? So he don't owe them nothing, right? So when if somebody that didn't support you asked for you to quit your job, would you quit?
Hell no.
Hell
Hell no.
no, right? So he's standing on his laurels. I mean, I ain't mad
He's
at him.
standing 10 toes down. I get it.
Even
And
if he wanted to
Rich,
step down, he probably said, fuck that. I'm not stepping down. Y'all don't care nothing about me before this shit happened. And now this shit happened. Now this is the whole thing for you want me to step down? No, I'm not doing it.
hey,
And
yo, Rich, let me just interject. I totally agree with you. I want you to finish exactly what you're saying. I'm going to read a statement. But what I was just saying from a journalistic standpoint, I'm bringing it to the surface. Now, if I was with Eric right now talking, I'd be like, yo, kid, you win, I win. You know what I'm trying to say? You my man.
yeah.
I got you. So I'm just saying, but I'm just
And
talking.
and Bill, how many times on
Mhm.
even just on this show alone, and I'm speaking for me myself,
Yeah.
I've said things that I wish I didn't say. You
Mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I didn't mean it the way I said it, but I said it. And you
Absolutely.
can't take it back. You know, it's out there, so you can't take it back. You can just apologize, and say whatever you got to say about it, but
Yeah.
you can't take it back. Right now, this dude is under so much pressure from every side, right? And he's not even in, I mean, he's diabetic, right? And he's
Yeah.
been battling that, trying to fight that without taking that medicine they telling him to take, metformin and all of that. So he changed his diet. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's so stress. Anybody that's ever been under any kind of stress can kill you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I commend the brother for fighting the fight he's fighting, right? He gave people opportunities that's really unprecedented. The amount of people of color that he had in his administration that followed one after the next that fell short. I mean, it's not his fault that they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. Well,
He
listen,
gave opportunities.
yo, Rich, I'm gonna flip this. Rich and Tom, I'm gonna flip this. How many times have we seen people not of color get away with murder and they don't get charged with murder? But
All the
Really?
time.
I see a lot of
No,
people
Bernie
hold it.
Gatz. Bernie
I,
no, no,
Gatz
no,
shot
no, no.
shot people on the subway.
I see a lot of people holding Eric to the carpet. Stefania says, I think it's a wrap for Mayor Adams. She also says, I wonder if Governor Hogan will remove him. Well, I don't think he's going to remove it. Ty
She's
or
not
Rich,
going.
I'll let y'all answer that. Go ahead.
She's not going to remove him. She needs him to a certain degree, and she's not going to remove him. But yes, I agree. As far as him getting reelected, I see a lot of people. It's not going to happen. He doesn't even have the support of the unions.
No, no,
And
and then like Stefania said earlier, which I heard, they're talking about Cuomo running for mayor. So
yeah,
if he
but
puts his name,
I don't even think he'll win. I think Landa is the front runner right now because
okay,
Cuomo has his issues with the sexual harassment charges
yeah,
that why they
Well, so did
removed him from the.
but Ty, so did the president. He
Yeah, but
was he
I
was
get it,
convicted
but
of that sexual shit. So
I get it, but a lot of people I don't think are supporting Cuomo like they used to. That's
yeah.
just my opinion.
Yeah, no, yeah, and we'll find out because if he put his name in the thing, we're gonna find out. I want to read this before we get out of here. First, let me just say this before we get out of here. Shout out to Harold Thomas. His son had just got into a situation um,
And they
with
suspended all the cops.
yeah, it was suspended on the cops. Some people are up in arms that, oh, how come the cops got suspended without this and that and all of. The bottom line is, think about it. To the winner goes the spoils. His father's a first grade detective, my man, and he's taught his son how to interact with law enforcement. I had this conversation today earlier with somebody, a former law enforcement officer. The bottom line is, listen, if you're in your car, if you're in a rental car and you're in the backseat sleep when the car gets pulled over and the officers pull people out and they ask you to show your ID, you don't have to show your ID when you're not the driver.
You're not the driver.
You're not the driver. Let's get this shit 100. You're not the driver. You don't have to show
Nobody's
your
being
ID.
charged with anything. He knows the law. His father
Exactly.
taught him.
You tell it. He got a bunch of PBA cards and DA cards and chief cards, like a deck of cards, and he shows that and he lets the guy know. But see, this is when the ego gets involved, and I had to explain this to my former coach, my partner. When we get pulled over, they want to ask us where you going, how you doing. You opening up an investigation. When somebody shows you ID or something like that, a courtesy, it is supposed to be boom, period. Not still keep the investigation going on. Because if I ask you where you going and where you coming from, that's an investigation. It's a soft one. But if I don't like your answer, then I inquire more. So shout out to Harold and his son. I wish you all the best with that. I want to read you guys something, and then I'll let you give your positive affirmations. A friend of mine sent me this via text. He says, hey, if we elect a rapist, a convicted felon into the White House, and I just received this, she says, why not allow a presumed not guilty man be mayor for a few months to the election of his peers, by the election of his peers? If we allow Demon Musk to run the government and fire government workers without being confirmed a cabinet member or a member of Congress, why not allow a man elected by his constituents finish his term in office? Adam may have taken a few first-class flights, but it's nothing compared to what the white KKK members of Congress have gotten paid by all sorts of ways. They are a bunch of elite millionaires.
Can I say amen?
Amen.
Amen.
We got a president that was selling, listen, we got a president that was selling sneakers, gold coins, Bitcoins, changed the regulations on Bitcoins, and he's the president. That's a straight conflict of interest. I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about here? I mean, we all listen. There's a song. Cash rules everything around me.
Get the cream.
Get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. That's
Wow.
all this country is about. That's all it's about. We're talking about capitalism to the max. They don't give a fuck about no poor people. I mean, you got rich people. I was watching this show. This rich guy, they were talking about how he had 2 yachts, castles around the world. He had all of this fucking shit. And they were interviewing him and they asked him how much did his yacht cost. His yacht had a helicopter and a submarine under the bottom of it. And he had 2 of them. And they asked him how much did it cost. He said he didn't want to say. And they said, why? He said, because it's embarrassing. He said, some people would say that I was selfish. And the fact is, they're right. Because I could have did something else with this money, like fed the homeless or all kinds of shit like that. But I chose to spend my money. I chose to spend my money on 2 yachts that I'm hardly ever in.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
And this is the kind of world that we're living in.
Yeah, Ty, I'm gonna let you say something real quick, and then I'm gonna read the comments, and I'm gonna let you guys give your positive affirmations. You got anything you want to say real quick, Ty? Or
I was just gonna say you can't tell people how to spend their money.
Absolutely.
All you can do is you can suggest, and that's about it.
Yeah. Malcolm says, I agree with Miss Stefania. It's a wrap for anyone, no matter what. If you make a deal with 47, I was disappointed. Sister Brenda says, The governor has decided not to remove him, but to limit his power. Exactly. Like you put a muzzle on a pit bull. I don't know what that's about. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. That's Ty Butler, and that's Richard Williams, my co-host. Rich, give us some positive affirmation, and Ty, give us some positive affirmation.
You go first, Ty.
To those who are listening, we appreciate y'all. Keep listening and keep commenting. Um, but I advise each and every one of us to stay woke, stay up on what's going on, and try and get prepared as best as possible. Whatever whatever that means to you, you
Yeah.
know.
Get your gun license if you can.
Yeah, if it means getting your gun license, because uh, in New York, as still, you can get your gun license, your carry, even if you don't live in New York. Those that goes for people who live in Jersey and Connecticut. If you feel the institutions, our financial institutions are suspect, and you feel you want to take your money out and put it in a tax shelter or just put it in your mattress. Well, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, just stay woke, stay up on what's going on, and be vigilant. That's all.
Absolutely. Rich?
Well, I'm like y'all. I mean, get your gun for those that are built for it, because everybody ain't built for it, right?
Word. Real talk.
We
But
understand your problem.
that's why you don't come to New York. Hey, Ty.
If only that was true. If only that was
Y'all
true.
been good all night. Go ahead, Rich. Finish this out so we can get out of here. So I can see the Knicks spank the Sixers.
All right, listen. Everybody's worried about their money. If you went to sleep tonight and woke up tomorrow and electronically all the money was gone, what would you do then?
Mm,
You know, because it's coming to that. You rarely do you see us walking in the store spending paper money. You know, everything is scan your card, scan your phone. And this is all electronic and it's all out there. Elon Musk has all of your information and everybody that's in that camp. So just imagine how much control they have over your money, right? So what you value most is that money. And if they take it all away, if you needed a house, would you be able to build it? If you needed food, would you be able to grow it, hunt it, clean it, and kill it? Would you be able to do any of that?
yeah.
No. So what's really more important? Because all that materialistic shit that we value don't mean shit at the end of the day. Because if it happened, it's not going to happen how you think it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
All right. So are you ready? Are you ready to live in what's that shit? What's that TV show? The Walking Dead. Where
Yeah.
you know, because if you think about it, every TV show from back in the '60s, like Star Trek, all of that shit that they were doing then, we started doing cell phones, iPads.
Yeah.
The Jetsons.
So
Yeah.
yeah, all of that shit that we seeing now that we think is far fetched, yo, bro, these pandemic diseases that they let out in the environment, you think that fucking COVID was something? They got some more shit coming for your ass.
Yeah. Yo,
And you keep eating wrong and consuming wrong, they got you.
Oh, that I'm glad you said that, Rich. One thing I want to say, Bill, before we get off.
no,
Uh
please.
tell her Chop House in Times Square.
Okay, I'm glad you saw
Times
that.
Square. Yeah, 47th between Broadway and 8th.
Mhm.
Listen, uh, there's a documentary on YouTube I recommend to each and every one of you to watch, pay attention. Please watch it in its entirety. It's called They Are Trying to Kill Us. It's They're Trying to Kill Us. Okay. Please watch it in its entirety. I recommend it. Okay. For each and every one of you guys.
Mm. Yo,
All right, fellas, I'm gonna have to bow out.
No. We just wanted to say good night, everybody. I appreciate you. That's Ty Butler. That's Richard Williams. I am Bill Forster. Thank you. If you're not subscribed to it, please watch it. Keep the podcast going, popping. It is what it is. We keep it informative. We try to give you the best. And first and foremost, we give you real talk. Good night, everybody. Get home safe. If you're not home, and enjoy
Peace.
it. Go Dicks. Go Knicks. No, he's not.
All right.
Ty,
Later.
Rich, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Later.